Today we're gonna talk about 5 things that you can buy that will actively make you a better skier. Now, my dad is a PSIAA instructor, and his favorite saying is that you can't retail your way into better skiing. I'm gonna challenge that a little bit. I'm gonna give you a list of 5 things I think you could go out and buy right now that will make you a better skier. But I do agree that the core of what he's saying is right? You can't just replace mileage or skills. You have to like take the time to learn. But I think that there are a few things, if you're already kind of on that trajectory and learning, that can aid you in becoming a better skier. So without further ado, let's go right into the top 5 things I think you could go out and buy right now that would make you a better skier. Now, number 1, the first item you can go out and buy that'll make you a better skier, if you haven't already bought it, is better fitting boots. I have never seen something that has more drastically improved my skiing than when I went to a proper fitting ski boot. Back when I was like 16, I was in a pair of like Lang CRL something 90s, and I went to a ski camp. It was like the Rickety Wybrook camp as a camper to start. And the guy who runs the camp is a boot fitter out of New York. His name is Miguel Askrat out of Ellicottville, New York. He owns Mud, Sweat, and Gears, I think is the name of the shop. And he took me down to the local reps where they had like demo ski race boots. He got me into a pair of the Lang race, I think there were 120, 140s, and my boots were brought down 2 sizes, down from a 29.5 to a 27.5. I'm not sure exactly. I know they went on the millimeters from 325 down to a 303 millimeter boot, and I've never seen a more distinct difference in my skiing than when I went to a properly fitting boot. Having that extra responsiveness, especially in slalom, was huge. Having the right stiffness so that my energy wasn't just going into the ski boot kind of squishing, it was actually getting transferred to the skis. It is the biggest night and day I've ever seen in my skiing, and I really think that people don't realize how much value something like that has. So, you know, if you're gonna spend your money on anything, that's why like Zip Fit makes a lot of sense, or people just tend to recommend it so much, because it is helping a good fitting boot get even a better fit and a more comfortable fit. And really, anything you can do that contributes to that, people will really advocate for because it makes such a big difference. And that's why it's like, oh, $500 ski boot liner seems crazy on the surface, but if you really care about proper, good fit, it helps your skiing a lot. It gives you more energy. It makes it so that you can ski longer in the day so that you'll actually get more mileage and build those skills out long term. The responsiveness, like I said, the energy transfer, the comfort in your feet, they're really, you can't talk enough about how important a proper fitting ski boot. The only piece of equipment, honestly, that I ever kind of outranked the ski boot is helmet, because it's like, that's like a safety thing. But even then, like boots that are too loose can be dangerous in their own right. I wouldn't want to be on a big like mogul hill or something really steep, or if you go on the backside kind of on the face with those moguls, I wouldn't want to deal with that with an improperly fit boot. So yeah, even when I travel abroad, I take my own boots because they just fit so well. So I've talked enough about this, but that is my number 1 item for things you can buy that I think will actually help you become a better skier. You still have to have the skills to like apply it, but bang for your buck, that is really a great way to get good performance out of your skiing. Now, number 2, I'm gonna go contrarian. I am going to agree with my dad. The way that you can improve your skiing by spending money, a really good way of doing it, is buying lessons. I always tell my dad about stuff like, oh, I tested the ski, it's $2,500. Oh, I'm trying this, Cuse jacket that is $1,500 to $1,800. And he goes, these people would be better off spending their money on a ski lesson. And it's hard to argue with that. I do think that lessons, if you are a beginner or intermediate skier, is a really good way to improve. I think one-on-one seems like the best bang for your buck, at least in the way that I learn. I just got my kids swim lessons, and they had like group lessons, and then we did the one-on-one lessons. And the one-on-one lessons, it was like they made 2 weeks progress in a couple of lessons. So I would recommend one-on-one if you can do it. If you're intermediate or above, even if it's just a friend that is a really good skier and they can give you one thing that they notice you could work on and you kind of take that and run with it. You know, I get lessons are expensive, especially one-on-one lessons. But if you're really committed to trying to become a better skier, I think that's a really good way. You could also, you know, it doesn't hurt if you kind of know what you're talking about at intermediate, or you know what a good skier looks like. Watch your instructor ski. Maybe they have a different style than you and you're not sure that it's gonna gel. Take that into account, but really, you know, the core of what my dad is saying is right. There's no perfect way to retail yourself into better skiing. And a lot of times just having one lesson where somebody gives you a foundation of understanding that you can build off of can pay huge dividends down the line. So that's why that's number 2 on my list. All right, number 3, this is gonna seem kind of silly, but if you are new to skiing and you're buying lift tickets versus ski passes, I think if you're looking for things that are gonna improve your skiing, just bite the bullet and go out and buy a proper ski pass. I get the desire to get ski tickets, even when I go and get like my car wash. They're like, well, do you want the monthly thing for 25 or do you want to pay 10 every time you go? And I always do the every time because I hate having reoccurring things, or I'm always afraid I'm not going to get the value if I don't get my car washed frequently enough. Right? I get the hesitation, but if you want to get better at skiing, this is kind of the best way to do it. Because I really think that if you want to improve, it's not so much about total hours that you ski every week, which is kind of counterintuitive, but I think it's about total days on snow. And let me kind of clarify that. So let's say that you have a budget for time of 3 hours a week that you can ski, and you can break that up as much as you want. I would say it's probably better to ski an hour 3 days a week than it is to ski 3 hours 1 day a week. Because you're gonna get more out of that repetition, you're gonna have like time to think about what you worked on yesterday and then go and try to reapply it the next day. A lot of like development of skills happens after you do the skill and then you sleep on it and your brain kind of processes it and then you go and reapply that skill the next day. I just think it's a really good way to develop over time, is getting as many days on snow as you can to like reinforce or build those skills. Now, when you go out and ski, you have to kind of have like a purpose, like today I'm working on this one skill and I want to try to do it. Or I've been working on this one skill, but I want to kind of perfect the timing of it. It's not only gonna build familiarity with like carving or whatever skill you're working on, but it's also gonna make you more familiar with your gear. It's gonna make you more familiar with the mountain and what trails you like and what are well suited for your ability. I think that if you're really wanting to get better at skiing and you have like, and where you live is kind of in proximity to the ski hill where it's reasonable that you could go ski frequently throughout the week, I think a ski pass is well worth the money because it's gonna allow you to not worry about the ticket prices, or if you have one of those places where the ticket price varies by day, you're not gonna be stressed by that. You're just gonna go, get a bunch of days on the hill and get better. So I think that's one way, you know, it seems kind of silly, but a lot of people avoid that. And I think that if you wanna get better, just embrace it, get the ski pass and get high mileage, get high frequency, get a large number of days on the snow. Obviously, if you can ski longer, that's great, but you know, it's just kind of an analogy. All right, and number 4, I think a really good way of improving people's skiing, or a way that you can buy into it, so to speak, is buying gear that's fit for the right job. Expecting a big radius turn to make short radiuses just doesn't make any sense, and vice versa. Wanting a short radius ski to like track at large radius turns or to track at kind of higher speeds isn't fair to the gear. Just like, you know, you wouldn't go out and expect a Stokely Laser or Monero to do well in powder. Understanding your gear's strengths and weaknesses is really important, and I think that once you kind of understand that, you're gonna be able to use the right tool for the right job, and a lot of people's skiing would improve. You know, I go up to my local ski hill and there hasn't been snow for 2 weeks and I see someone on an Atomic Bent 120, and I'm not judging, maybe that's just their only pair of skis, but it's not the right tool for that job. And I think that a lot of what can happen is you're just like beating yourself up, like, well, I'm just not carving like these other guys because I don't have these skills, or, you know, I'm just not skiing very well in the warm snow with my Atomic Bents, when really the other guy is on a Volkl M7 Mantra just kind of cruising through it. And that's why I find a lot of ski reviews really frustrating, because they don't talk about the downsides. Well, if you don't understand your ski's weaknesses, you're not gonna understand when to use it appropriately. So for me, a lot of it is just getting the right tool for the job. A lot of that is based on your climate. A lot of that is based on when you're going skiing in the day or in the year. But I think that having the right tool for the job really can bring out some of your better skills as a skier and allow, at the very least, the ski to stay out of your way. And number 5, the other way that you can kind of buy your way into better skiing. Now this is within reason, right? If you had a graph, it's like if you do just a little bit, it'll give you big improvements, but as you spend more money, you're gonna get smaller and smaller margins of improvement. But I think that if you wanted to buy performance out of your skiing, taking care of your skis, like servicing them, is a big part of that. Waxing and tuning your skis. Now, this seems obvious, but having jagged edges or dry bases can sometimes be a large part of your skis. I get a lot of people who go, oh, I just wanna get new skis and I don't really, I just wanna get rid of these old ones. And sometimes that's true, right? Sometimes there's a big generational jump, but I do wonder if a lot of people just regularly wax their skis or tune them, if they wouldn't kind of find new life in their skis and appreciate them again. And you don't have to, if not everybody needs to wax and tune their skis. If you want to take them to a shop, that's a really good way to like kind of get ingrained with your local community. You can ask the ski shop guys questions. If sometimes half of it's just a social thing, talking shop with people. So if you don't want to do it, that's fine. There are plenty of shops that want to do it. I like tuning and waxing my own skis. I used to do it as a racer, and I feel like it's fun to build that skill out, but I understand not everyone wants to do that. If you take care of your skis, if they have bases that are not gonna be dried out, if you have sharp edges, you can get a lot more performance out of your skis. There's a reason all of those racers, like they have 12 pairs of skis. Sometimes it's just because logistically it's easier to keep all of those sharp in case something happens. Having a ski that is like ready to go out the gate, out the door, or sometimes for them, it could be based on the wax that they use for that snow. Maybe like 4 of them have different waxes, and you just want to be able to take something off the shelf in case the weather changes. Well-waxed bases and good edges can make a big difference. I'd say if you're on the West Coast, wax makes a bigger difference than the edges. Like you just don't have to tune that much. Obviously a dull ski could get annoying, but it's not the same as like the East Coast, where having sharp edges, in my opinion, makes a much bigger difference. Obviously that also varies on how you ski, but I think that you can get a lot more performance out of your skis if they're well maintained and well taken care of. There's people like Zach who never wax their skis and they still look amazing when they get on snow. So as always, skill will trump, spending money this way. But if you're somebody who appreciates a well-performing ski and you want to build out those skills, I think having a ski that consistently performs can be helpful towards becoming a better skier. So that's why it's number 5. It's probably not the most important one, but I still wanted to bring it up. So anyway, kind of some different content. Not really talking about any one brand in particular or doing a review, but I just wanted to share this in case anyone out there finds it helpful. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing. We also have channel memberships. If you want to donate to the channel, we have a company Ko-Fi and a company Venmo. I'll also have affiliate links. Right now in the summer, there are some really good deals on skis where they're not even changing them, it's just a top sheet change. So I'll have a bunch of links to what I think are good deals in the description. This week I'm planning on doing a, deal video where I go through and comb through and find some really good ski deals right now. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any tips of things that you spent money on that you found improved your skiing, please let me know down below in the comments. I'm always interested to read those. And of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.